with a Key and a Kite by Wobbly-Headed Doll Caper. Chapter 2. Alexander comes to New York, where he spends a great deal of effort controlling his power. He learns through bitter practice to accept charity with some degree of grace, but to court favor is one thing, to enforce it quite another. He meets Aaron Burr and projects the liking he has for him, the desire for approval, before he can control himself. It bounces off Burr, who doesn't appear to have noticed anything. When he learns about Burr's power, he finds himself hanging around the man just to test his limits. This is how he learns that his writing is capable of persuading Burr where his power isn't, and some inquiry and research confirms his suspicions. When he writes, he persuades only with his words and not his powers, and that gives him a license he does not have in speech. He writes and speaks with increasing confidence. He learns that when he speaks with his power behind his conviction, he can only make others feel the emotion of conviction. And if they are already decided against him, this hardens their opposition. He takes rooms with a tailor, Hercules Mulligan, who teaches him the rudiments of shielding. It's a social necessity in large cities, and Alexander finds that he can adapt the technique to his own power most effectively. He makes friends, and in their discussions of philosophy and politics and history, he learns that the number of people with powers has been growing till almost half the colonies has some gift or other. In Europe, it's only a quarter or so.
"That's a sign, then," Hercules Mulligan says. "It's the age of revolution, the age of evolution. Maybe nature gives us these powers because we will need them." "If power was a gift for those in extremity, suffering slaves would be free, and aristocrats ungifted. It is distributed, as all mankind's traits are, by inheritance and chance," Lawrence argues. "Is what one does with power that counts," Alexander says, veering off on a tangent. "It's like the strength of the mind or the body. Without application, it withers to uselessness. So with the power of the state to defend its citizens. If state power is unused, or used against citizens, it becomes useless to the citizens it should be defending." Alexander has his shields up, not projecting anything, but the moon on the streets still matches that in his blood, a wild ferment of rebellion. The use of powers in war is a hotly debated topic. Some hold it to be dishonorable against an unpowered enemy. Alexander doesn't remember the debates when the British invade, because when he and Mulligan and a handful of others pelt down the streets towards the cannons, he just takes his fear, his dread, everything he's shielded from the others, takes it and throws it at the cannon's crew, dousing them in panic till they fall back gasping and confused. They are killed seconds later. Mulligan spikes the gun and claps him on the shoulder. "Can you do that again, Captain Hamilton?" "I think so." Lafayette and Washington are formidable. They both have the power to see into the future, and this coincidence alone could have made them friends, since the burdens of the gift are hard to understand for those who don't have it. But they are also both leaders capable of inspiring their volunteer armies to heights beyond imagining. "We can't rely on foresight, even with two seers in command," Washington says, leaning over the map. "The gift is damnably unreliable, as Greek myth teaches us." "But it can't be enough to shift the balance. No less useful at this time than another 100 guns would be," Lafayette says, shrugging his agreement. Alexander learns over time that their gifts are different. Lafayette sees scant minutes into the future, but clearly, while Washington receives only vague impressions from weeks or months to come. Putting their gifts together with the American network of spies and informers among the British, the Revolutionary Army Command can give the distant impressions of omniscience. "I saw further only once, when I was young and new in my power," Lafayette says one night, late in a night of drinking. "No?" Alexander almost thinks Lafayette is stopped, but he goes on after a minute. "It was very far in the future. I saw how it would end, the monarchy. I saw what it would become." He drinks again. "I saw a reason for revolution." "What was it?" "Swear not to tell, Hamilton. On your honor." "I swear." Lafayette stares into his drink and doesn't reply. Alexander doesn't press for more. He's got enough reasons for revolution, and in myth and legend, glimpses of the future against the advice of a seer are always attended by ill luck.